DLC for Inquisition, and I thought I'd just make a video. Those fuckers over there. I thought I'd just make a video of because I finally got to see the Attack on Titan live action movie, and I wanted to express my feelings about that. Um, I sat down the other day and I watched it, and I wasn't expecting, you know, like a miracle or anything. But I wasn't expecting that much of, like, I don't know, it was just really, it was bad, and kind of like made light of it. The way it was so bad just made it seem like the story was like just an excuse to see a bunch of violence and stuff, and I just didn't appreciate how they did it. First off, I'm going to talk about the differences, because there are some big differences. I'm looking for something small to do while I talk about this. Let's talk about the beginning. In the beginning of the movie, did I get all the camps? In the beginning of the movie, Aaron doesn't have any parents. Mikasa is his girlfriend, and Armin is just kind of there. Like, I don't know. The whole thing is, they're mad. They're not mad at Aaron, but Aaron can't maintain a job for a long period of time, and they go out into a field and they find him sitting on this undetonated missile or bomb or whatever, and they start talking about how freaking boring it is, the Titans, blah 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 blah. And second off, I know that it was made in Japan. I know, I understand this. I completely get it. But it's so hard to tell everybody apart. It's bordering on ridiculous. They made no attempt to... The only people I could tell were Mikasa, Aaron, and Armin. It's hard to tell Armin and Aaron apart because they didn't give the characters their own unique look. Also, Levi wasn't in it. You could tell who Sasha was because they just kept forcing potatoes in her throat, and Armin was feeding her the entire time. And the scientist lady, I don't really remember her name too much. The one who was studying the Titans in the show, she was there, and she was like, "Oh, I'd love to study Titans, but they disintegrate because..." And another thing is that the Survey Corps had not been set up yet. Like, they mentioned it for 2 seconds in the beginning of the movie, how they're looking to set up a Survey Corps and it's gonna get, approved. And that's the end of it. So Aaron takes Armin and Mikasa. By the way, if you want to watch the movie, don't see this, or if you haven't seen the anime or are planning to watch it, don't watch these. He takes them to the outer wall, which, by the way, in the movie, it's only like, alright, you know how in the show there's like many different districts? Well, in the movie, they shrunk it down, and there's a central, like a core where the rich people are, then the outer, which is, like trade, mercantile, and then the final, there's only 3 sections. The final section is, where they call it like farmland or whatever. Anyway, disengage. So they shrunk that down. I've completely lost my train of thought. So he takes him to the outer wall, and then the guy comes, Hans, I think was his name. and it's like, you can't be over here, blah blah blah. I'm gonna die. He's like, you can't be over here. So they have a discussion about how he wants Aaron to join the Survey Corps when it finally gets approved. Which is whatever, you know, even though it was a really big part of the story and whatever. Then the Colossal Titan breaks down the wall. Another problem I have is, since they left Aaron's parents out, there's no backstory on his father and his mother dying, which was a really big influence, I think, in how he sort of grows as a character. And mainly, though, it just irritates me because his father did something to him and told him, you know, you gotta get back to the house, go back to the basement, you need to get in the basement. I haven't read the manga. I would like to. I haven't gotten around to it. Well, I don't own it. I need to buy it. But, yeah, like, leaving that out just is, like, makes me feel like they weren't plot-oriented at all. There was no character development in the whole movie. In the beginning, after the Colossal Titan attacks the district, Mikasa and Eren get separated. And unlike in the anime where they escape and, you know, go through all that, survive, and then join the military, they get separated. And Eren and Armin, like, right away, first off, they're like 16 or 17 in the movie. I think they're like, end up being like 14 when they finish their training. They go through two years of training in the movie. It was a lot longer in the anime. When they finish training, I don't know, like, they go right away to repair the wall, the hole in the wall. And another thing that made the movie kind of the movie didn't have an overall great feel about it. Like, in the anime, it was less modern, and I don't know. My dog's barking. But in the movie, it was this whole big thing where they had tanks, you know, and bombs and fucking, I don't know, it just didn't feel quite good and believable. What else? They left out Levi and put in this weirdo, like, apparently Mikasa, I don't know, she got stuck, I guess, in the district while Eren was training, but then they find her later in the movie, and she's this cold person who just doesn't want anything to do with Eren, and she's hanging out, well, she's still badass, and she's hanging out with this guy who's supposed to be Levi, but isn't Levi, and it was weird. And then there's this weird scene where him and Eren and Mikasa are there in this little room, and he's trying to talk to Mikasa, and this guy just, like, throws an apple at him, and he picks it up, and then the guy walks over to Mikasa and is like, takes a bite of his apple, and then freaking offers it, like, holds it in front of Mikasa's face, and is like, he's like, oh, you want some of this? And she takes a bite, but I felt like it was so uncomfortable. It was really weird. Like, and then he slinks behind her and puts his arm around her and watches Eren just, like, Eren just, like, slinks away. And it was weird. And then, he leaves there and he freaks out. And he goes to be alone by himself, and then there's this girl in his unit who has this kid, and they have a talk about how she has a kid and everything, and she's like, oh, and You remember there's this couple in the anime. They're in love. They talk about they want to get married and shit. And right next to where Aaron and this girl are, they're like doing it or trying to, you know, do the deed. And then the girl looks at Aaron and is like, "Oh, I want you. Will you be my baby's father or something?" And then like tries to put the moves on him. And I was like, "Oh God, this is fucking weird." Because they didn't even have any romantic rapport beforehand. It just was like force him to lay down and do the business. And Aaron's got this look on his face like, "I feel," and it was weird. And then like as she's laying him down, forcing him to the ground, you see this giant eyeball fucking. I was like, man, this isn't gonna end well. And then I see this giant eyeball just peeking into the house because, yeah, and then so she gets grabbed and eaten, and that was the end of it. And I was like, okay, well, I guess. And then remember there was that serious scene where like they took all the seriousness out of the anime and just made it like a snuff film, and it was fucking weird and kind of gross. And like I don't have a problem with gore or whatever, but they took all the depth out of it and just fucking, I don't know, it was dumb and insulting, I feel, to the fans of the anime and manga. What else was I gonna talk about? Alright, let's just stop for a minute and talk about the Titans. I have mixed feelings about how they did the Titans. Initially I thought they looked alright. They were kind of creepy. They were very vocal. Alright, and then I thought they were okay. And then I saw, there's a part with Aaron and the same lady when they're in the middle of the Trost district, or not Trost, whatever. They're in the middle of the district trying to get to the wall to blow it up to fill in the gap. And they wander off because the dumb idiot's like, I hear a baby. And so they wander into this underground ruin, and there's a giant Titan baby. And it was just stupid. I mean, whatever. I mean, Titans, whatever, but yeah, they just got done, you know, Titans can't. There's no reason for there to be a Titan baby. I don't understand. Anyway, but the breaking point for me with the whole Titan thing was Aaron's reveal is, you know, supposed to be intense, and he does save Armin and trade places with him. He trades places with him in that Titan, and gets eaten. Yeah, whatever. And then, but can I just say, I was like, when they revealed Aaron in Titan form, I gotta, like, I don't know, you see him, like, initially when he explodes out of that one, and then you look at him closer, right? And you realize that he's not CG. He's a fucking guy in a rubber suit. And I didn't quite, my brain couldn't comprehend at first, like, what I was seeing. And then I realized what was really happening, and I just couldn't. Like, that was when all hope was gone, and it was already like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie, so there was no point. Like, I mean, I guess, where's the riff? Like, I sat through the whole thing, and whatever, but they couldn't even take the time to do proper, like, even if he was, this guy, like, it was a suit. It was a guy in a suit. They could have touched it up, even if they didn't want to do a whole, you know, use a whole bunch of money on it. They didn't even bother. It shook, it looked funny, Like, and that's supposed to be a significant moment, a really